The B2K versus Pretty Ricky versus should have never happened, should have never been suggested. It was a hot mess express. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking the versus battle that was last night, y'all. That there was a lot going on last night. And I saw a little bit of the Pretty Ricky versus B2K versus, but I feel this should have never happened in the first place because I always felt that Pretty Ricky was going to smoke B2K. B2K should have done a versus with mindless behavior with B5 or something, but they were never going to be a match for Pretty Ricky. All Pretty Ricky had to do is play the Blue Stars album, one of some albums that I say is a no-skip album. Like if I ever say an album is no skips, meaning you can listen to it all the way through, no skips. I feel that way about several Janet Jackson albums, several Michael Jackson albums, a couple of Rihanna albums, a couple Beyonce albums, a couple of Usher albums, where it is just like no skips. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in that type of mood, if I'm in that type of mode, no skips. Blue Stars by Pretty Ricky is one of those albums. On the Hotline, you know what I'm saying? That album, their second album, it's all right. I mean, most of the songs are okay, but it's not Blue Stars. It is not Blue Stars. Now, I saw there were some celebrities, that were there in the building. You know what I'm saying? I saw Rick Ross. I saw Lizzo. I saw Trick Daddy doing the intro for, Pretty Ricky and everything else. Here are my complaints, right? Besides the fact that this should have never happened. One is I appreciated the live singing that Pretty Ricky was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that they play the tracks now, but they were, ending the tracks early so that you could hear real live vocals. And there seemed to be an issue on the B2K side where they did not want to give us live vocals, right? I felt that the competition really was over when Pretty Ricky, like right off the back, when they started off with Grind on Me, Your Body, Juicy, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a rap, Nothing But a Number. It was so bad. B2K was playing songs that I didn't even know. You know what I mean? And then it was so bad early because the whole talk was Pleasure P was like, listen, look at here. We've got enough hits between us as groups and everything else. I really don't want to do any solo stuff. I really want this to be about the group because it is about showcasing and celebrating the group and giving the groups their flowers. Omarion, I feel, is very much in his feelings. People say that he's unbothered about stuff. He's very much bothered. He's very much bothered. He was on some petty wop last night, and the group may break up again, as far as I'm concerned, because quickly he went into song 12. He went into a solo Icebox, and then Pretty Ricky kept getting on them because they were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when are you going to sing live? And then he tried to do like a sing-along with the crowd at the end, and that's not singing loud. That's not singing. That's not live singing. That's the crowd singing for you, right? But Omarion pulled out like at least like 4 or 5 of his solo records. And here's my thing. If you want to have a versus with Pleasure P, sign on the dotted line. Pleasure P was really much team performing as a group, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately towards the end, he had to pull out Did You Wrong. But see, he really could have came at Omarion with Boyfriend Number 2. But again, the competition was over. The competition was over at the first song, as far as I'm concerned. And they were throwing shots. B2K was, well, your songs are for, more grown-ups, more adults. Omarion tried to bring out his son. I don't know why there was kids at a Pretty Ricky concert. You know what I mean? Like, what is children doing at a Pretty Ricky concert? On Complex's page, you guys, even for the full set list and scorecard, it's 18-0. It is a landslide victory. 89% of the people voted the Pretty Ricky run won. Like it wasn't 50-50, it wasn't 60-40. You know what I'm saying? It was a landslide because this competition should have never happened. You see how we don't be talking about no Drew Hill versus because people don't want the smoke. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that they're like the little brothers of a Drew Hill. And the thing of it was, Pretty Ricky didn't even have their whole, group together, right? Because I believe one of the group members is going through something or whatever the case may be. But they didn't even have their entire group. They didn't even have, their full strength. And it didn't matter. It didn't miss a beat. Then B2K, mainly Omarion, started fat shaming Pretty Ricky. And it was just like, y'all keep doing these little jabs like, oh, well, your music is more for the adult crowd and da-da-da-da-da. Well, at least we look good still in our, you know what I'm saying? At least we're still in shape, da-da-da-da-da. And at least we did these world tours and at least we were in these movies and we did this more than you. Here's the thing when it comes to verses, right? It's not about how many albums you sold. It's not how many tours that you've, been around the world. It's not how many millions of dollars that you made or any of these things. It is all about song selection. It is all about, hey, I'm going to hit you with this song. What is your response going to be? And if you're going to be responding with some weak ballads that nobody cares about except for diehard B2K fans, you've lost. You know what I'm saying? And the thing of it was, as far as Blue Stars goes, as far as Pretty Ricky goes, that's for the culture. The songs aged well. You know what I'm saying? You can still hear it on R&B stations. They'll still play Pretty Ricky. You know what I'm saying? If you are still going to the club or you have like a 90s or 2000s type of event or whatever the case may be, and they want to do like some of the hits of the 2000 or whatever the case. Even I have Sirius XM in my vehicle, in my car, right? And also I have the app on my phone. There are tons of, R&B and hip hop stations that I think Sirius XM Fly or like hits from the 2000s and things like that. And that Pretty Ricky down, you know what I'm saying? Pretty Ricky down on the radio, on Sirius XM. B2K, they play a couple songs, like, the R. Kelly track, the R. Kelly record, you know what I'm saying? But I would argue I am more familiar, and I would say, with Omarion solo stuff than I am B2K's, if I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. Because for me, that whole B2K era missed me. But the Pretty Ricky era, I was sad. I was sad for all of it. The Pleasure P era, I was sad for all of it. Because they did what needed to be done. They had hard-hitting beats. They incorporated, you know what I'm saying, some old school R&B into some of their music. I love Pretty Ricky to this day. Their songs age well. Blue Stars is no skips. There was never going to be a match, you know what I'm saying, for B2K to go up against them. But I just felt like Omarion in particular, but the group as a whole, he let his group members set him up. And Bow Wow set y'all up. Here's the thing. Can this be an example when y'all want to have these hot takes on the Instagrammies, on the Twitters? Oh, who should do a versus? So-and-so should do a versus. That'll be really cool. These two need to do a versus. Can we? Last night is an example of why those hot takes need to stop. Not everybody is ready for prime time. Not everybody is ready to sing live. And not everybody is ready to accept defeat. Because it seemed like after everything was over, you know what I'm saying, Omarion did not want to accept defeat. And his ego is why his career is not the way that he wanted it to be. And that's all I'm going to say on that. A lot of petty wop, a lot of nonsense, a lot of foolishness. And it was like, are we having a versus or is this going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Your mama jokes back and forth. But like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I just feel like B2K, this should have never been a matchup. This should have never been a matchup. Y'all refused to sing live. Omarion had to go into his solo records early, and I respect the fact that Pleasure P was like, listen, look at here. You know, I'm really not trying to go into the solo bag. Because really y'all already lost. Y'all already got destroyed. However, I'll just give you this one right here. And I felt as mean and as unprofessional B2K was going with like their jabs and their low blows of what I saw. See, would Pretty Ricky have been wrong if they asked about Chris Stokes? You know what I'm saying? Like that's how low it was going. That's how bitter and that's how mad they were being that Pretty Ricky was smoking them. Pretty Ricky understood the assignment. Even their ballads were hitting. B2K was choosing ballads that never should have made the set list. And I just don't know what the thought process was. I don't know why Omarion allowed his bandmate to talk him into this foolishness, allowed him to set him up and everything else. You know what I mean? Like it's just, y'all doing too much. Some of these conversations about who needs to do a versus, like how y'all want an Usher and Chris Brown versus, please stop. Like Usher said on I Am the Party, people talking verses, please stop. Because it's not gonna happen. And this should have never happened. Now, I don't know if there's any financial, you know what I'm saying, compensation for these artists to do this, to participate in this, but I feel like for future matchups, we have to stop with Twitter hot takes. We have to stop with people's bandmates setting them up for the okie doke. We need to have legit competition. What I liked in the beginning of this, when it was all, you know, COVID, we all wanted something to do, was it was legit matchups, right? It was producer, singer, group, you know what I'm saying? Gospel artist, whatever the case may be. Old school group, you know what I'm saying? Female singer. But when you are in a situation, and that's where I had a problem with the Tank and Tyrese versus, was that I felt Tank quickly was using his cheat code as a songwriter for stuff that he did for other artists because he knew his catalog was no match for Tyrese. And I felt that that's not fair. I feel like if we're just going to do 20 songs, we need to do the 20 songs as a solo artist or whatever the case may be, and whoever you featured on your songs. But when you try to go off the tangent, like with what Omarion did yesterday, and was like, oh, well, my group's not winning, my group sucks, everybody's cheering for Pretty Ricky, let me pull out my solo songs. Then it's no longer about the group, Omarion. Then it's about you. Then it's like, come look at me, look at my solo records, look what I did without you, B2K. And this was not the time, right? This was not the time, this was not the platform, this was not the energy. But I'm hoping moving forward with Versus, let's just stop scheduling hypotheticals. Let's just stop scheduling Twitter hot take suggestions. If the artists genuinely want to make it happen, let's make it happen. But y'all talked all that cash, SHIT, about how many albums y'all sold, how many world tours y'all did, how many millions and stuff y'all made, and none of that matters in a versus battle. What matters is you bring your best hits right off the bat. Some people like to wait till the end, till you get towards 20 or however many songs y'all doing to bring out your bangers. No, if somebody starts off with a banger, you better respond with a banger. Don't be trying to, you know what I'm saying, do all this nonsense, these B-side tracks that nobody's going to know except for diehard fans. Pretty Ricky can get away with it because, like I said, Blue Stars is no skips. But y'all didn't have the catalog, and that's what I'm saying with some of these big artists. Yes, y'all were, y'all were fangirls for B2K and everything else. But the entire catalog as a whole, there's no comparison to Pretty Ricky's. There is no comparison to Pretty Ricky's, and Pretty Ricky's albums still sound good to this day. Still have aged well, still are appropriate, you know what I'm saying, for the target audience. and everything else. And then people were throwing shade at the comments like, y'all not going to remember the times that we've walked out of B2K shows because, you know, we weren't feeling the set list. We weren't feeling some of the songs that y'all were doing, that we only liked a couple of songs. So it's like some of y'all gas up some of these people that need to be humbled, that need to understand who their actual audience is. And last night, there was no match for them to be going up against no Pretty Ricky in any capacity. So, nonetheless, that is it for this video. Do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. There is that. That is it. That is all. Es todos es final. Es finito. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post some content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.